Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a video in the style of an old school Linda Vodder video. If you're not familiar with Linda Vodder here on YouTube, I'll link her channel in the info box. Years ago when I discovered her channel, she would do what she called garden walkabouts, oftentimes in the morning, and she would say, "I'm in my robe." Now, I'm not in my robe, but I did just get back from the blueberry patch. And as mentioned in last week's video, if you didn't watch that, go back and watch that now. Maybe not right now, finish this one first. As mentioned, it is hot. So, I thought I would do a little abbreviated garden walkabout. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how I think it relates to the journey of discovery. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy. I might pop in now and then to tell you what we're looking at. Like here, this is a beautiful heuchera, which I adore. And interestingly, I'd always loved blue hydrangeas and never had one until we moved to this house. This shrub was already here, and it does not always bloom. But look, this year I have some beautiful blossoms. They're not all blue, but they all are very pretty. I love when blossoms do this and you have to really look for them. Right here is an arrangement that I made because I have garden club tonight and everyone is supposed to bring an arrangement, ideally with flowers or plants from their own garden, but if not, feel free to get them from a local flower grower or the grocery store. These are all from my garden. Solomon seal, firelight hydrangea. Think of what this is called. This is one of my favorite, Nigella Lovenimus. This is actually when it's in its seed pod form after the blossom has faded, but I love the seed pod just as much as I love the blossom. You can see it's still being, pollinators are still attracted to it. What else is in there? Oh, daisies. I tend to make arrangements that are on the short side because I love to put arrangements in the middle of the table. And if an arrangement is too tall, my husband tends to move them during mealtime. And then I don't get to enjoy the beauty of it during the meal. So I keep it short so that he can still see me over the top. These are just the cutest hostas. They are called mouse ears. And when I planted them here, these other hostas weren't nearly as gigantic. But I actually like that they're just tucked in underneath of these gigantic ones. And they're just kind of peeking out. A friend of mine paints beautiful rocks, and she painted this for me to put in my garden in remembrance of my dear grandmother when she passed away a few years ago. Which, interestingly, when I hear myself on video say, "Well, hello there," I can hear my grandmother. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I guess that's not a bad thing. I love my grandmother. Yaya is what I called her. Yaya, my dear Yaya, whom I adored. favorite daylilies. Isn't that just gorgeous? I think it looks like it was painted. I have no idea what variety this is. Another beautiful hydrangea. This one I did plant here a couple of years ago, a number of years ago, so it's gotten huge. And yes, it does flop in the rain. I'm really thinking I should get into some of the newer varieties that supposedly don't flop. The reason I'm over here in this corner is to show you this beauty. Isn't this phlox just gorgeous? I think it's like a ballerina pink to me on the petals with a darker pink in the middle. Oh my word. I cannot remember the name of this plant, but it's about to start blooming, and it kind of takes over. So see how it's coming up in the middle of this hydrangea. Here's one in bloom. Isn't that pretty? Another favorite daylily. These are some of my favorite hydrangeas, which I put in the arrangement I made for Garden Club tonight. These are firelight hydrangeas. What I like about these is that they bloom on new wood, so unlike the blue hydrangeas, which are hit or miss with the blossoms due to the winter, these always have blossoms. They start out this brilliant white and then age to a lovely, almost red. Yowza, can you see the pollinators on this thing? I'm not sure, it's just absolutely crazy. It's filled with them. And this is a huge jumble. Mixed in, we have this crocosmia. And then that plant whose name I can't remember. But this isn't a gardening channel. It's not a how-to gardening channel. It's simply scenes of beauty. Oh my word, I'm so excited. This is a new planting this year. If you watched my video that I made a number of weeks ago, I think it was in May, about a visit to a greenhouse, I bought these plants. This beautiful, oh my gosh, look how brilliant that is. I mean, it's brilliant in real life, and it looks like it's showing up brilliant on the screen. This beautiful, what is it called? It's a plant I always wanted. Why am I having trouble? Oh, clematis. Oh my gosh, clematis. And then, because I understand clematis like their faces in the sun and their feet in the shade, I planted this ice plant. And I haven't been out in this part of the garden in a couple of, well, probably at least a week or so. I didn't realize they were all in bloom again. So pretty. It looks like we're gonna get another bloom. And see that green lid? Hold on, I'll tell you about that at the end. It looks like a little seedling of a mimosa tree, which I'm excited about because my mimosa tree, which was here when I moved in, whilst still gorgeous, looks like it might be struggling. This is a blue chiffon rose of Sharon, which I was so excited when I saw this at a nursery. I think it was in 2019 I bought this plant. I think it's so pretty. I planted this lamium on this bank a couple of years ago, and I have not been disappointed with how it grows. In the spring it gets a beautiful purple blossom, and it is doing exactly what I want to do, which is cover up this very difficult to weed bank. And then I love how this hosta, I think this is the only hosta whose name I can remember because it's called a Queen Josephine. And another grandmother that I adored, she's no longer with us, her middle name was Josephine. My dad's name was Joseph, and one of my daughter's middle names is Josephine. Here's a bright pop of color when you drive around the driveway. This beautiful red verbena, which was a gift from my mother-in-law this year for Mother's Day. Put it in this terracotta pot, which makes a pretty picture. This is my stand of Solomon seal, from which I cut for my arrangement. I just think this is so pretty, the variegation. This is one of the first beds I made in this garden from scratch. It has some of my favorite plants, sedum and hellebores. This is a gorgeous one. I wish it was still in bloom for you to see. If I have a picture, maybe we can put it on the screen right now so you can see the beautiful blooms, because they're purple. Or more like a blue, actually, more like a blue. The plant in my arrangement, whose name I still can't think of, a spint bloom, but it's still really pretty, I think. But it's obviously more beautiful when it's actually in bloom. And a couple of hostas. Actually, these hostas, this one and this one, I got at a place, and the gigantic ones that we've already looked at, I got in a place called Hosta Hideaway, which is between Harrisburg and Gettysburg. These hostas, interestingly, came from one hosta plant that a local greenhouse gave me for free. I divided it up, and it's turned into this. Don't you love hostas for that reason, that you can divide them? And then you get more and more and more plants. This is a plant that was already in this garden. And every year I have to remind myself what it's called. It's loosestrife. And it is so pretty. It's a beautiful pop of yellow. Comes back faithfully every year. And if you cut it back, it will rebloom for you in the middle of the season. Okay, I just have to show you this because these are petunias that have self-seeded in my flagstone patio. And I just think that's so cute. There's one, and there's one. So I can't bear to pull them out when I weed the patio. Listen, if you have trouble sleeping, this is an herb you want to grow in your garden. Lemon balm. It's so soothing. Have a nice cup of that in the evening, and you will have a soothing night's sleep. This is one of my favorite beds. I absolutely love. I keep saying that, don't I? I absolutely love. I've got to come up with something new to say. I really enjoy purple basil combined with vinca, which keeps blooming all season long, and this beautiful arborvitae, which is called a fluffy arborvitae. And then And tucked back inside of here is a new to my garden this year, Achillea. And this, Nicotiana. If you do not want Nicotiana for the rest of your life, do not plant it. And some green basil. I wish the sun hadn't come out because it's a bit hard to see, isn't it? Oh, I was gonna put this in my arrangement and I forgot. I bought this from a local flower farmer and friend of mine. She does wedding flowers and she does bouquets that people can buy at a local market, and then also do a flower CSA. And she had a greenhouse sale at the beginning of the season. And so these make good cut flowers. Back here's a beautiful dahlia. And this bed is now taken over by basil. Looks like we need to cut some basil, make some pesto. Here's some more Achillea, which I got from that same friend. Another one. Oh, this dahlia is my favorite this year. Isn't that pretty? I hope you can see it with the sun shining. We always like to do it every year. Make a little fairy house or fairy village. Just think fairy villages are so cute. Look at this, it's about to bloom, a cleome, otherwise known as spider plant, which is also a pretty ballerina pink, I think. Gorgeousness yet, but it soon will. This is called a beauty berry. Oh, here. It's getting the blossoms, which then will have the most beautiful amethyst color berries that will last through the winter until the birds eat them. Do you remember the name of this plant? This is a Stokes aster. I think this lamium is so pretty the way that it's spilling over the step. Oh, here's a little bit of the purple bloom it gets. All right, so what does that little garden walkabout have to do with my journey of discovery? Only this, which is this garden, albeit imperfect, still quite weedy for this time of year. I haven't finished spreading my mushroom compost on a lot of the beds, but yet I still feel like it is beautiful and I find joy in it. And the way that it encourages me with my journey of discovery is this. I sat in this very spot where I'm sitting now with my youngest daughter as a baby and my next youngest child as a toddler toddling around me. And I looked out at this expanse of grass, which is all there was here 12 or 13 years ago. And I would look at the grass and I would see the green lids, which if you remember, I said, remember that green lid? And I would think, wouldn't it be nice to have a beautiful garden in this spot, which would not only provide beauty, but would masquerade those green lids. The green lids being the septic system. And in short order, with a lot of work, a ton of help, I certainly did not lay out this whole garden by myself. And for years, I did not tend this whole garden by myself. And even now, I incorporate the help of my daughters. But we have made a garden. And so the way this encourages me is that I have seen a dream come to fruition. And so even when there are days where I feel like nothing is happening with my dream of writing, if I stay the course, if I keep at it, I think something beautiful can be made. I'm making my way slowly through the book called Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. I say slowly because there's a lot in it and I want to really contemplate the things that he's saying. And the most recent thing that I had read last week was this. Whenever we're making decisions in life, we're coming at it from one of two aspects, either through fear or through love. Well, I feel like I came at this garden through the aspect of love, and we made something beautiful. And I want to continue to make the decisions with my journey of discovery through the aspect of love. How about you? Tell me if you've read Conversations with God and what you think of it. Tell me what you think about making decisions through love versus fear. Of course, if you have anything to say about my garden, I'm all ears. Until next time, you take care.